Hello and welcome to the RG10 podcast. And today we're raising a glass to bold ideas, community spirit, and the leap of faith it takes to turn a dream into reality. My guest is Simon Fisher from Twyford's Glass Half Full, a new hybrid wine shop and bar bringing something refreshingly different to the high street in Twyford. Simon shares the story behind the shop, the importance of supporting independent businesses, what makes a great bottle, and why sometimes you just have to go for it. So pour yourself something nice and let's get started.
Yeah, so Glass Half Full is a shop and a wine bar. We sell sort of premium quality wines that are bespoke to the independent wine trade. So you're not going to find anything in here that you'd see on the supermarket shelves. So we have that nice point of difference. I think the other thing we can offer that you can't really get elsewhere is you can come in and try the wines before you buy them. So no better sort of advert for them than coming in, having a taste, enjoying what you're drinking, and then taking a bottle away with you.
Yeah, there has been quite a buzz in the village over the last few weeks, people coming in here on a Friday night and a Saturday night, really enjoying the atmosphere. But it is very much the shop side of things that you need to emphasise, isn't it? That's the kind of the idea of the place, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a big part of it. I do like the way that we are a hybrid in the fact that, as I say, you can come in and enjoy a drink. You also have that opportunity to take a bottle away with you or more. But yeah, I think for the business to be successful, they both need to work. We've seen in the first few weeks that we've been open, the wine bar side of it has landed really well. A lot of enthusiasm, a lot of enthusiastic drinkers in Twyford, which is good to know. Yeah, so we just need to work on the idea of getting the wine shop aspect into people's consciousness and, giving them an alternative to come and buy a bottle of wine rather than going to the supermarket or elsewhere.
So tell me about your story. Have you always been in the wine trade?
No. Well, I've always been a drinker. So in some ways, yes. I've supported the wine trade throughout my adult life. But no, this is completely new to me and my wife. We've just always been a sort of dream, I guess, at the back of our minds that one day we might have an opportunity to do this. And just the way a few things sort of came together over the last 12 months, changing circumstances with my work. You're at that stage of life where, I've got a couple of kids, but they're pretty much self-sufficient now. And we just thought if we don't do it now, we're never going to do it. So it is a real leap of faith. But so far, it's been a really enjoyable one.
Was there anything in particular that sparked that dream?
Well, I mean, there's certainly, a place that we talked about doing this quite a lot, usually after a couple of glasses of wine, but that was a wine bar and shop, pretty similar in the model that we've got here down in a place called Brixham in Devon, and we went on holiday there, or we go on holiday there quite a lot, and we'd often sit there sort of gazing out, drinking a nice glass of wine, thinking, this would be a fantastic venture to try and, get ourselves into doing, and sort of luckily enough, as I say, a few things have conspired, and, here we are. So
how... I guess agonising, how tricky was it to make that leap? Was there, an awful lot of worry beforehand, or were you pretty, gung-ho, let's go for it?
No, definitely. I think when you're doing something new, there's always a tendency to focus on the things that you can't do or you don't know, rather than the things that you can do and do know. And if you dwell on those too long, you're never going to get anything done. I think one thing for me that really, really helped me make the sort of decision that we were going to go for it was a scheme run by Wokingham Council called the Berkshire Growth Hub, which supports new businesses and new startups, and they've been really helpful, not just in the skills that they teach you, but also it just gives you a network of people who are in a similar situation. So I think, the key thing about this is you can feel completely on your own and have no one to speak to, and, you've got all these ideas in your head that you're trying to think, will that work, will that won't? And actually being able to sit there and discuss things, problems, issues, challenges with people who are going through the same sort of, journey as you is just amazingly helpful. And, now, I'm lucky enough to have a network of people who, we still stay in contact. And, if I've got an issue or something that I think, I could do with a bit of input to, I can give them a shout and they'll help.
I want to go back to something you said earlier regarding, why people should come here rather than just, pop across to Waitrose. Addressing that one more time, why should they do that? And when they do, what kind of wines will they find here? What are the advantages?
So why should they come here? Aside from, supporting an independent retailer, and I think, we need to be mindful that, I think there was a survey recently where Twyford was voted the 16th best place to live in the UK. There's a lot of factors into that, but one of them, I think, is having a thriving high street that has independent shops on it. And I think we just need to be really mindful, that adds a lot of value to Twyford. Supporting local businesses, I think, is key. But coming in here, our range of wines are really, really, fantastic. They're eclectic. You won't be able to find them in high street supermarkets, chains, things like that. So, and I think it just gives people an opportunity to come and try a few things that they might not have. When you go into another supermarket, you're sort of met with a wall of wine, and that can be quite intimidating. And I think wine in itself can sometimes be seen as quite intimidating. And the main ethos behind Glass Half Full is it's got to be inclusive rather than exclusive, and we want people to be able to come in here, not have to worry about the stigma of, oh, I don't know about this or that. It's about coming in, embracing nice wine, embracing some good times, and just really, really enjoying yourself.
I'll put you on the spot now. If you were going to take home, I guess, one white wine, one red wine, and maybe a sparkling or something like that, what would you go for? Nice and brief, succinct for me. And why?
Buckfast, because it's the drink of champions. So, one white wine, one red wine, one sparkling wine. Again, I'll caveat this with it's all down to personal taste. My personal taste, we've got a couple of brilliant white wines from Austria and Germany. One is called Funk Still, which translates as radio silence, which I think we could all do with. No personal dig there, Ben. We could all do with in our lives every now and then. That's Gruner Veltliner, really, really nice grape, sort of an alternative to Sauvignon Blanc, or Sex, Drugs and Rock and Roll. Brilliant name, brilliant bottle. That's a Riesling from Germany. Just really fresh, crisp acidity. Red wines, personally, I like big red wines. Got a lovely Valpolicella from Italy. Just oaked, smooth. Oh, it's just lovely. Drink too much of it, you'll get a headache. But hey, it's worth it, definitely. Sparkling wine, we've got so many brilliant local producers that we're lucky enough to have on our doorstep. Stan Lake, Fairmile over in Henley, Oak and Grove in Henley. So, I would always support local and go for one of those guys, definitely.
And finally then, what are your hopes for Glass Half Full?
Well, hopefully to be having a chat with you next year, that would be good. I just think the positivity that's come from people that have come in the door saying Twyford needs a place like this. And yes, you've got to take, the new business sort of bounce with maybe a little bit of a pinch of salt. But I think genuinely there is a place for Glass Half Full in the community. Certainly people seem to be enjoying it, and I hope that continues. And for me, it's just exactly that. It's just, the enjoyment you get from seeing people come in here, having, a nice glass of wine, a relax, a chat, a socialise. That's what it's all about, really, isn't it?
That was Simon Fisher from Glass Half Full. And if you're local to Twyford, why not pop in, try something new, and support an independent business that's adding real character to the high street. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who appreciates a good story, and maybe even a good glass of wine as well. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.